Hi friends, my name is Katie. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my August TBR. Normally, I actually don't post TBRs, and that's because one, I don't tend to stick to them. I am like somewhere in the middle between a TBR wannabe and a heavy mood reader. I like to have a list that I try to follow, but my mood genuinely controls my TBR. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that I haven't necessarily had a game. I haven't had anything to like kind of make it exciting. I've been working really hard over the last week to get this prepped and prepared. I wish it could have been done a little sooner so my video could have been out already, but that's okay. And basically what I'm gonna call this is I'm gonna call this TBR Tarot, and let me explain why. I love tarot cards. I have a couple decks, but then a lot more authors lately now have been having tarot cards in their book boxes, and I love collecting them. My game isn't technically tarot cards, not technically, but the goal is eventually to have a whole deck of these, of the special cards that I'll be able to do my game from these. For now, I found a good balance where I found this shop on Etsy that had these TBR cards, and they had a whole bunch that was already like predetermined and like pre-written, and then they have blank ones that you can write your own, and you're gonna be able to tell. Because mine are a couple words, and then these are like a book with a cover that features a city skyline. That's a whole sentence. I did not do a whole sentence. And what's crazy too is I will show you what I have cut out so far. You'll be able to know which ones I printed here on my home printer versus eventually I had to just give up and decide to print them at like an Office Depot because I was like, my printer won't survive. But this is just a fraction of what I have. I still have a whole pile that I need to cut out. So they come in long strips like this, like it was a whole paper, and I cut them into strips like this, and then I cut them all out individually. So it did take some time. And normally with my TBR games or any of the TBRs I've tried to do in the past, I always want to be like, we're going to do 10 books. Well, I want to be a little nicer to myself. I feel like a lot of people choose 5, which to me just seems too small. So I decided that we're going to go with 8. I feel like it's in the middle. You know, like technically could I have gone with 7? Sure, but I just feel like 8 is good. So we're going to be picking out 8 cards. We're going to see where it goes. Hopefully I can get some of the books that I need to read on this list, and we're going to go from there. So I'm going to, I think, split the deck in half, and I'll do 4 cards from this, and then I'll do 4 cards from this side. I think that's fair. There's no way I'm going to be able to do all of them all the time. It's just not physically possible. I'm like really nervous to pick our first card, to be honest. Okay. Ooh, okay. For our first card, we've got a book that features a strong sibling relationship. For the book with strong family relationships, I decided to go with Sawyer. This is the special edition by Jessica Peterson. This is the 3rd book in the Cash series, and I've really enjoyed both of these. There's Cash and Wyatt, and then Sawyer, and then I think there's Duke that's coming out next. And all in all, these really do focus on these brothers, their relationships as they live on this ranch. And this one's going to be even more heavily focused on family because of the fact that he's a single dad and she's a single mom. And I just think it's going to give you all of like the found family feelings. Next, we're on to pick 2. A book that features a mythical creature. For a book that includes a mythical creature, I chose The Underachiever's Guide to Love and Saving the World. I was reading the synopsis to this to Adam, and I was like, this is me. This is me. It says, Courtney's only goal in life is to have no goals. A reformed overachiever, she's content with her dead-end job and simple existence, and her feud with her neighbor Bryce brings her immense joy. Everything is perfect. And the reason I chose this one is because there is a dragon. They say that they unleash more chaos by accidentally freeing a dragon. And I love this tagline too. Courtney has given up her childhood dream of ever being a chosen one, but that doesn't mean she's about to let Bryce claim the title for himself. It just seems like it's going to be fun, playful, and dare I say it, cozy. So will I enjoy it? I genuinely don't know, but I really, really hope so. Now we're on to pick number 3. Oh, this one will be easy. a book with a narrative that's split between 2 or more characters. So it just has to be multiple point of view. For a book with multiple point of views, I'm so excited to read this. This is Make Me Yours, and this was sent to me. This book was not on my radar before, and what happened is I got this book in the book mail, and I was like, ooh, let's just flip to a random page that I was reading to Adam, and I was like, I want to read this right now. I didn't have time. I have time now. This is a friends to lovers, spicy romance with forced proximity, undeniable tension, and a hero who has always been all in. I don't even need to say anymore. I'm so excited. And for our last one in this pile, ooh, perfect. Free pick. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. What a good way to end that pile. For free pick, I chose If Not For My Baby by Kate Golden. I'm nervous about this, but the cover is so stinking stunning. It's so beautiful. Normally, I do not love rockstar romances. It's usually not my jam, but I have high hopes for this one. Fingers crossed. Kate Golden also wrote A Dawn of Onyx, which was a fantasy romance series. And I loved book one. Book one I ate up so fast, finished in like a day and a half maybe, could not put it down. The rest of the series I didn't love so much. I'm curious what she's going to do with contemporary romance. So I'm giving this one a fair shot. I really, 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 really hope it's a favorite. Forgot to mention, I heard this is like Hosier coded for the male main character. And I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Moving on to pile number 2, our first pick, we have a book with a character who's an explorer. And then for a book with a character who is an explorer, I'm tweaking this just a little bit. I'm going to be using Finders Keepers, and this book is following 2 estranged best friends, and they are going out on this treasure hunt adventure together, and it could just be the thing that like reconnects them. I really don't know much about this. It just screamed like fun summer vibes, and it's perfect that I can squeeze this in right before fall, and I just hope it's like a fun, witty, bantery kind of time, honestly. All right, and for pick number 6, so for pick number 6, we have a book with a protagonist who's on a quest for revenge. So we have a revenge plotline, which happens to be one of my favorite. Actually, I don't know if you guys even remember the show Revenge that came out years ago. I was in college, I think, but I have a tattoo in honor of that show. So not that I am one that wants to get revenge, but I am all for people who want to, you know, right their wrongs. For our revenge plotline, I'm so happy this worked out. I have to read Lady of Darkness. I promised my YouTube members that I would do a whole spoiler-filled vlog for this book, and she's chunky. This is my special edition that I got from when I met Melissa here at Midwest Bookish Fest. Such a lovely human. Loved her so, so, so much. I cannot wait to dive into this. I have the audio as well, so stay tuned for that. This will be happening. I hope I just can binge the whole series, but we'll see what happens. First up this. All right, on to 7. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Okay, we have a book recommended by a booktube channel. I have so many options. I don't know what to do. For a book recommended by a booktube channel, I chose Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty. Everyone is talking about this book. Everybody is raving about this book, and I'm late to the train. I met Liz twice before this book came out. Once during the release tour, and have I read this? No. Why? You know why. If you've been part of my channel for any period of time, you know I have commitment issues with ending series, so that's why I haven't done it yet, and I'm going to feel all the feels when I read this. I'm going to be so emotionally devastated, but hopefully feel really good to having like come to a conclusion with this series, but my heart. All right, on to the final book. Next we have a book that has a title with a question mark. I actually don't even know if I have something for this. So a little bit of an update to picking a book that had a question mark in the title. Couldn't do it. Wasn't easy to find either. So I was like, you know what? We're not going to just get rid of it. We're going to pick 2 new cards. So I did. And for one of those cards, I got a book that explores mental health, which amazing. I love anything that has to do with mental health. For that, I'm going with Slash and Burn. In this book, we're following Grady, and he is going home because he had this crazy accident. I think he was saving somebody and he got injured, and it's causing him to have to take a step back. he cannot play hockey right now because not only is he physically injured, but it's really been taking a toll on him mentally as well. And through this, he's going to reconnect with his best friend's sister. They have to work together. There's going to be a romance, and I am really excited to finally pick this one up. And then the other card I got was A Book You've Been Putting Off. And for that, I chose Mine to Gain by Maggie Rodden. I read, I want to say, the novella and the first book in this series, and I didn't get to this one. I was able to get this copy when I met her in person at Wild and Windy, and this is a single dad story. That's all I know about this one. That's all I want to know. I'm just excited to dive in. It's sports romance. It's a win-win no matter what I do. So these are the books that I'm hoping to read in August, and I have to say I'm feeling really good about this list right now. I think there's such a fun combination, and there's enough wiggle room that if my mood shifts, I have kind of something for almost every single mood. I will say that the cards were a little bit challenging to begin with. I wasn't sure where I was going to go with everything, but so far, not too bad. I'm curious to see if this TBR game is going to be as fun and exciting as I think. I do think there's going to be some wiggle room. I think a lot of the cards are geared more towards fantasy readers or maybe more like literary fiction, and while I do read both of those genres, I am more of a heavily like romance focused reader. So I'm curious to see kind of how the game changes throughout the year, and the cards that stay and the cards that go. But I'm hoping it's a good combination of fun, but also challenging. And I'm hoping it'll encourage me to make TBRs more often, but also encourage me to kind of step out of my comfort zone. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!